Hello everybody, Mousewave back again for another video. Okay, so recently, I've been thinking about the Polar Express movie, and it got me wondering, are there multiple Polar Express engines? Is there an entire untouched history with it? So I decided to make my own headcanon on how the Polar Express train was created, the different locomotives that ran on it, and how the Polar Express itself works. 1865. Mr. Claus was in a tight spot. Children were starting to grow up too fast and not believing in Santa anymore. The more children didn't believe in him, the more business he lost. If he wasn't making toys, his business wasn't running. And he wouldn't have it. So he came up with an idea to make children believe in him again. 1866 to 1913. The North Pole had started a railroad line that went all the way around the world to take children to the North Pole to help them believe again. American locomotives were the preferred type of engine to be used because they all had cow catchers in the front that could easily be modified into snowplows for rough North Pole conditions. The engines that ran on it were the brand spanking new at the time, American 424 locomotives. There were approximately somewhere around 10 to 20 different locomotives. They went all separately to different parts of the world to pick up children. Each engine would pull 5 coaches and caboose. The trains left the North Pole at around 10 p.m. and usually returned at 1 a.m. The children would then be brought home by 4 a.m. 1914 to 1941. The 424s were retired from service and scrapped, all except for one, which was put into storage. The railroad was taken over by newer, bigger, and stronger and more advanced locomotives, the 424s. The North Pole bought 3, Gazelle, Whirlwind, and Leviathan. They would triple-head the train, all in one go, unlike the older models. This was because they had special wood that, when burned, gives off magic effects, such as, and not limited to, flight, faster speed, the ability to slow time for those who are riding the train, and lastly, the ability to make the train lighter so the engines can pull better. They ran wonderfully for many years. 1942 to 1987. The 440s were retired, and a new engine was brought on. It was the 284. This, to a lot of people, is the definitive Polar Express when the topic is brought up. And it has the most amount of history out of the ones used so far. In 1955, the bridge after Glacier Gulch had collapsed, and the ice had frozen over the rails, causing the huge engine to drift over the ice. The driver had to move the engine back into position to drift it over the rails and back onto the track again. In 1967, during its route on a railway off the coast of England, there were some trucks still on the line. The train smashed into them, breaking most of its axles and smashing a few windows. And an older 440 called Edward was near and was happy to help. Around 1/4 of the journey was complete. When Edward was crossing America, he got so tired he couldn't carry on. 2 friendly steam engines came to his rescue. A custom-built 240 called Casey Jr. and a 440 that went by 11. They triple-headed the train all the way to the North Pole, where the 284 was repaired and quickly took the 3 engines and the children back home. 1988 to 1989. The 284 was retired and replaced by a new electric engine that took the passenger train. However, this train was short-lived. It broke down many times because of the constant speed. It was an inconvenience to run. 1989 to 2003. The electric locomotive was retired quickly and replaced by a fleet of diesel engines. There were 3 new types of locomotive, all with different jobs. There was a sleek, modern streamline engine for pulling the Polar Express itself, a freight train for delivering supplies around the North Pole, and even a small trolley system to transport children around the North Pole grounds, quickly and efficiently. 2004. A feature-length film was made about the Polar Express, making the retired 284 very famous. The North Pole, not having a use for it, donated it to a railroad in America, the Steam Railroad Institute, where it still runs passenger trains to this very day. They also took the old 424 and gave it to the California State Railroad Museum, where it is still on display. Its past still not known by many. Present day. The North Pole has started experimenting with high-speed trains. It is assumed that they might try out a Japanese bullet train to make the Polar Express more efficient. However, nothing is known about it at this time. Okay, thanks for watching me talk about my headcanon for the Polar Express. I hope you liked it, and have a great day.